on the weekends, and we would be outside playing, and when we would see them, we would holler, oh, there go Grandma, and there go Papa. So we would run up to them, you know, and then we would go in the house, and my grandfather would play with us every week, and he'd spend a lot of time with us, whatever. And then me and my siblings would come around him and different things, and then he would do some magic for us. He would do this one little thing for us, and my brother and sisters and them thought it was magic, but I knew differently, you know. He would put some tissue on his 2 index fingers, and he would say 2 little blackbirds sitting on the fence. One named Jack and one named Jill. Fly away, Jack. Fly away, Jill. Come back, Jack. Come back, Jill. And my brother and sister would be so happy. They said, Papa, do some more magic. He said, no, I don't have time for that. I want to go talk to your mother and your grandmother. So he gave us all our little nickels and whatever. So then we got the nickel. So he gave us the nickels. And my brother and sister then would say, Sister, would you tell us a story? I said, I'll tell you a story if you give me your nickels. And so he said, okay. So we would run up to the attic, and we would get all our old blankets and stuff, and we'd make a little tent. And then we would run back downstairs to gather something for snacks. And so once we got up there and we got situated, I would cut out the light. And so we'd be all in the tent. We have our little popcorn and everything, and they'd be all excited. I said, what kind of story y'all want? They said, tell us a scary story, that one you always tell us. I said, okay, I'll tell you about the witch. So once upon a time, there was this witch, and she lived on this hill. And it was she lived in an old rundown house with broken windows. And she lived on a dead-end street. And the name of her street was the Witchy Way. And so all the kids would go back and forth to school just to look at the witch's house, just to see what she was doing. So one day they was coming home from school, and they seen the witch talk to this little girl. And they looking like, who was she talking to? And they, so the little girl and the witch was just talking with her. So the kids started gathering up some rocks and stuff. They was going to throw it at the witch because they said she was mean. And they thought the witch had caught this little girl while she was coming home from school. So they gathered up the rocks, and they was throwing the rocks at her and throwing. And the little girl said, stop. And the kid said, no, she's a witch, run. She said, no, she's not a witch, that's my grandmother. And they said, no, she's a witch. She lived on Witchy Way, and she lived in this old raggedy house, ran down. How could that be your grandmother? And then the little girl said, well, my parents is away, and they left me with my grandmother. And she's not no witch. She stepped up to them, and she said, she's not no witch. So all the kids backed down, and they were just looking at her, whatever. And so meanwhile, the grandmother had went in the house to get a platter of cookies for the kids. And so the kids was talking and playing with her granddaughter. So what they say, you can't judge a book by its cover. Do anybody want to bite? Okay, so after I finished telling them the story, they said, sister, would you tell us another story? I said, no, because y'all don't have no more nickels. I can't tell y'all no more story. So we went downstairs. We cleaned up and went downstairs and everything. So I said, Mother, can we go to the to the store? She said, yeah. So I went to the store with the 25 cents I got off my sisters, and I bought a big bag of penny candy. And I sat and shared it with them that day. And that day I was their big sister. Do anybody have a nickel for another story? I have.